wonderful Karen from Asian Inspirations is once again gracing us with her presence in this kitchen. What are we cooking today?
We are making Indonesian stewed chicken called semur ayam.
Semur ayam.
Yes. So semur is the borrowed word from the Dutch, which means simmer.
Yes.
And the key spice here is nutmeg, which obviously from the spice trade.
Yes,
And the key ingredient is our sweet soy.
So the ABC Sweet Soy Sauce, also known as ketchup manis, full of beautiful coconut sugar, the caramel notes. This is going to be absolutely gorgeous. Now, Indonesian cooking is very new to me. I feel like unless you have an Indonesian friend or a relative, you don't really get to experience much Indonesian food. There's not many Indonesian restaurants around in Adelaide that I know of. If there are any good ones, please let me know. So this is exciting for me. You know, I wouldn't guess nutmeg in a dish like this, but you talk about the spice trade in different countries and what they used to trade to each other. So where do we begin with this delicious recipe?
Well, we're going to fry off the spices. So let's fry the spices before we get to the dish. I'm just going to test the heat of the pan.
Beautiful.
Oh, it works, it works, it works.
A little sizzle.
A little sizzle, dancing sizzle.
Beautiful.
Lovely. We've got in here, shallots, garlic and ginger, which we've crushed.
Do you want this?
Yes, please.
Sorry. Beautiful.
And we're just going to fry it off with a little bit of oil.
Beautiful. Lovely. Just a nice neutral oil.
Just neutral oil, just for a tablespoon will do.
Beautiful.
Or maybe two.
Any good base, whether it's Italian cooking where I would do onion, garlic and chili, or Asian cooking, it's the garlic, the ginger and the onions, or spring onions, shallots, whatnot. You just need that good base and it changes the dish completely. I feel like these are the non-negotiables when you start cooking. You have to start with a really good base, and that's the foundation for a really, really good dish.
In fact, it's really interesting we talk about food history because the Indian cuisine also has the same start.
They do. Yes, it's always ginger, garlic, and some sort of onion. You sweat that down, and then it's the different spices. You know, in Italy, it's fennel seeds and chili.
Yes.
Here we're using nutmeg, and I use lots of nutmeg in my Italian cooking. So, you know, it's crazy how different parts of the world use the same base, but just change it up with their spices.
I would love to do a ketchup mayonnaise recipe Italian style.
Ooh. Challenge accepted.
Okay, so while this is cooking now, I think we need a little bit more oil.
Just a touch.
Yeah.
You want all those aromas to leach out into that oil, don't you?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, you got the sizzle going now.
Okay. So while that's sizzling, let's bruise the lemongrass. Put this chicken aside.
Just with the back of the
Just with the back of that, yep. Actually,
every time I do this...
Let's slice it.
Okay.
Let's slice it.
I'll just take
and
the
prevent
end
any accidents.
All that's going to happen is that the lemongrass is going to fly directly into your eye. So I'm just protecting you here, Karen.
Thank you. Call health and safety services.
Literally. The aroma that comes off lemongrass, that's good.
That's good.
Do you want it finely chopped? Or do you have it like that?
No, let's keep it whole.
Beautiful.
All yours. So that we can.
And a really good tip, Karen, you may know this already, but freeze your lemongrass.
Yes.
So any little bits that are left over, because obviously, you know, it's such a beautiful big root and stem, you don't want to waste it. You can freeze it, cut it up into chunks, add it into soup, into broths, into curries, and that you can grate it from frozen and whatnot. That's a really good tip. And that way, you know, you go out and you might need to buy a whole bunch of lemongrass. You don't want to waste it. The recipe doesn't need the whole thing. It's a really good way to preserve your lemongrass.
That's a really good tip. Okay, and in goes the chicken.
Now, chicken thighs we're using here.
We love chicken thighs.
Yeah, the juicy part of the chicken. Beautiful.
So let's just brown this off a little. We're going to put the heat on a little.
And it's just to get that rawness off. Otherwise, it will leach out too much water and then it becomes more of like a broiled dish. And that beautiful sear on the back of the chicken. Give me garlic and onion.
Garlic and onion?
Give me garlic and onion. And a bit of ginger any day of the week in the fry pan. It's incredible.
Let's put a touch of the nutmeg here now.
Beautiful. Just a little sprinkle.
Yeah, just like sprinkle, like a pinch, not too much.
Pinch?
Yeah, pinch. That's a really tiny, 2 pinches.
2 pinches. I didn't want to overdo it because I love nutmeg. For me, nutmeg, I actually put lots of nutmeg in my meat ragu. So
do you?
Yeah, my nonna used to do it just at the end and even in bechamel sauce.
Yes.
And it gives that beautiful nutty freshness as well, but even grated on top of a custard tart. That's a naughty treat.
Yes. So we put a bit of sugar.
Lovely, just for balance.
Just for balance, a little bit, a touch of salt.
And I can smell that nutmeg already.
And white pepper.
Now, Asian cooking does require lots of white pepper, doesn't it? It's got a very different character profile to black pepper. Obviously, if you don't have white pepper at home, you're more than welcome to use regular black pepper. Yes. But the white pepper is a much finer grind as well, so it does melt down a bit more, and it just gives you that little tingle at the back of the throat.
Yeah, and I think I've often wondered which is more bitter, and I think it's the bitter notes that we're after when we talk about pepper.
Yes, yeah, it is.
Do you prefer black or white?
I use a lot of black pepper. I think that's the European cooking though. There's always a black pepper grinder on the bench, and it's always there and convenient.
Yep.
Sometimes pink peppercorns as well, you know, if I'm doing something a little bit different, but I do try and incorporate some white pepper.
I'm going in with the water. So the chicken's nicely brown now.
Yep.
I'm going to help it cook a little bit more, especially the potatoes.
Yes.
And I'm just going to add just enough water to just cover it. We don't want too much gravy.
Yes.
But
just a light coating.
Yeah, just to help the potatoes along.
Lovely.
And let's add our sweet soy.
Beautiful. Now, how much sweet soy would you like?
I'm actually really generous with this because it's that flavor that we're after, and that's the main ingredient for a sauce.
Yep.
So let's go with 4 tablespoons.
4 tablespoons.
1, 2, 3, and 1 for good luck.
4. Done.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
So let that simmer.
That is the hero, and that is the sauce that's going to bind everything together. So you want it to be prominent. You want to be able to taste those beautiful caramel notes. So we're going to give that a stir, let that simmer.
Let's give it a stir, let
and
it
do a
simmer.
little set and forget and come back.
Yes.
I love it, Karen. Karen, this smells incredible. So many new beautiful flavours for me, and I cannot wait to dig in. It looks gorgeous, that beautiful little gravy-like sauce. It's so thick
and it's thickening it up, yeah.
It's beautiful.
I think that the caramel, the coconut sugar in the sweet soy, together with that nutmeg, it's a very unique dish.
It is. It's something I've never had before. So let's dig in.
Let's dig in. Let's plate up.
Now you've got a very simple garnish here of just the beautiful fried shallots, which are a staple. You always need a little fried shallot or something crunchy on top, don't you?
We do. And it's just to add that flavour. And we can also garnish with a bit of coriander if you like.
Yes,
to lift it up a little.
I love it. This is so homely. Even would you say this with a bowl of rice or some bread or something?
Bread actually goes really well with this.
Yeah, just to mop up all of those beautiful juices.
And I particularly love Turkish bread on this because it's got body.
Yes.
And it just has that body to mop up.
Yes.
Whereas a bao might be too soft.
Karen, it smells absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to sprinkle these gorgeous little shallots on top. Just a few. Now that is wholesome Indonesian cooking. I feel like this is a very family-friendly way of, showing off something different to your friends and family. A really good little simple stew.
It is, and it's also good with a bit of pasta, noodles, bread, as we said.
Any carbohydrate. I love it. That's absolutely gorgeous, Karen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Laura.
For taking me on a little trip to Indonesia.